What's up, everybody? It's your boy Flash from ALWT Gaming, aka Malachi36. Right now, I do not like Mildew Carry, and it's the Nightball. They're trying to act like that the stream froze on me. I don't appreciate that, guys. Welcome to episode 26 of ALWT Things Gaming, where we talk about video game news, just about stuff that we like, and again, stuff that's coming out. So, gentlemen, the Bro Force, how are you guys doing today? I was going to start with you there, Gravity Mark II. How are you doing today, man?
I'm doing good. I'm kind of, you know what? I'm not gonna lie. I'm kind of digging the name, the Bro Force. It's dorky. It's new. It's you know what? It could be our new name.
Let's rock it like a socket. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's already trademarked though.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's a trademark video game. So Malachi's getting copyrighted. I'm disconnecting right now. But
you know what? It's not who came up with it first. It's whoever came up with it better. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I still think they beat you.
Mildew and Carrot. Sour Patch Kid. How you doing, man?
Oh, first I'm sour, then I'm sweet, you know. I'm doing okay. I'm just excited for tomorrow because it's gonna be everyone's favorite day. It's gonna be a new holiday is what it's gonna be. It's gonna be time.
And it's the Ball Corner Pocket. What's up, man?
Darn good. Like you said, I'm gonna be excited too. All right, the big day's happening tomorrow.
Well, in 2
I
days.
can't wait. Yeah, the next few days actually. Yeah, you're right. Because then we got the VGAs coming up. Everybody this Thursday.
Yeah. Well, also that's the big thing that we're going to talk about, which is one of our first topics. Cyberpunk 2077 this Thursday. You know what I mean? So technically it's Thursday, but midnight. We're going to count midnight as tomorrow. All that good stuff, guys. Where is your guys' hype level individually, and then also for the general public that might be watching the show right now or watching it later on podcast services around the internet? Where's your hype level at? Starting with you, Nightball.
I'm just glad it's coming out. Okay, this game had to come somewhere and in some time. And I was just concerned, especially during that last delay. I was like, oh man,
yeah.
This could be another year. 2021.
No, 2077, really.
More like 2277.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So all right. So that's your individual hype level. What about for the public? Where do you think everyone else is standing for this? What
Everybody
on the block?
Everybody's pretty hyped for the game. It's, to be honest, you have a big game. And you have a very well-respected publisher. I mean, CD Projekt Red usually will make big games, and it's generally quality made. I didn't mind the extra cook time because it's CD Projekt Red. They delay about everything they do. I think it's gonna be very hype, and I think it's gonna be very good actually for me.
There you go. We're gonna save the best for last. Gravity Mark 2. What about you, man? Where is your individual hype level on this? Is it holding you down, or is it anti-gravity? Or is it gravity? You know what I mean?
You know what? I feel like I'm kind of on the moon right now. You know, like there's still some gravity there. You know, I still have a little bit holding me down, but I feel a little lighter. You know, it's like I will say, like my hype level is kind of at a medium right now. Like it's one of those things where I am excited for it, but I feel like because of the constant delays with everything, like your hype level just kind of keep it will be like, oh boy, and then it's like, oh, that's a delay, okay, and then you're like, oh boy, it's going to come out again, and then it's another delay, and so it's finally kind of at that point where it's like, the boy that cried wolf, and you're like, okay, I'll see it when it happens. Like I'm still excited for it for sure, but my hype level is definitely not what it used to be.
Just in case you get that midnight delay.
Just like that. It's like, no. It's like we said December. We didn't say what year.
Yeah. Quick side note before we go ahead and go further on to that. Iron Snoop just commented and saying, man, is it just me or does the guy in the top left look like he can't swim? Thanks a lot, dude. Thanks a lot. I can swim very well.
That's why he's got us the flotation devices to keep him afloat.
There you go. What about you as far as the individual, not individual, but as far as the overall standpoint? What have you been hearing around the block?
I think that's for you, Gravity.
Yeah, still for you, Gravity.
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah, so you gave your individual, but as far as like the general public, what's your thoughts about that?
I think the hype level is there, honestly. I do think the hype level is there for the general public. I definitely think that, this is still a very highly anticipated game, and there are people who have taken time off of work to get to play it. And so, for those people, I definitely think that this is that time where they're really getting excited for it.
Right. Okay. And of course, harvest time for Mildewy Carrot. What is your individual thoughts and what are you hearing and seeing from the general public? What's up?
I mean, y'all know my individual thoughts if you watched or listened to any of our episodes. I've been crying about this game since freaking April. When they fucking are like, oh, we're going to do it. Nope, we're going to delay. Now we're going to do it. Now we're going to delay. I'm like, I'm still doing it. I want this game. Like, I am like waiting for download to start counting down and for it to download so I can start playing it after I get home from work. Because fortunately, I ran out of time off. So, I'm not one of those guys who can take off and just play nonstop.
Yet.
Yeah, but that'll be that'll be the weekend. The weekend. Say bye to Mildewy because I ain't getting out. But no, like I'm super excited for it. I've been excited for it for the whole year and the years to come for it. So I cannot wait for it to get loaded in. So I'm definitely stoked. Now, as for what I think about the public, I definitely am going to agree with Nine Ball and Gravity that I think the public is stoked as well. Everyone's been really anticipating this game. They've been really waiting for it. I am a little concerned though because of recent reviews. I'm not trying to be mean about these reviews and those, but there's been a lot of ups and downs with them, backs and forths, sides to sides, gravity or anti-gravity, whatever you have, however you want to put it in there. So I'm just kind of concerned that you're going to get too hyped or too downtrodden, and where it may end up being possibly similar to a Kingdom Hearts scenario, where it's like everyone's like, oh yeah, and then the game comes out, they play it, and they're like, it just falls flat, because they overhype themselves. They just went too far, too high, and they didn't just gradually go up with it. So that's my only real concern. But I definitely agree that, if they could, everyone would be out in the street in front of a GameStop camping out and partying all night long if they could, waiting for the release.
Right.
So I have a question real quick.
Uh-oh.
Do you think Cyberpunk 2077 is approaching Half-Life 3 levels of hype?
No. I personally don't think so.
I think Mildewy's comparison to Kingdom Hearts 3 was pretty spot on.
Okay,
that was a highly anticipated game. And I'm not gonna lie, like as a dedicated fan of that series, my hype level was like through the roof. My expectations for that game were through the roof. And I think that the constant delays and the pushing back is kind of, it could be it could kind of cause those symptoms of people maybe being a little disappointed with some of these reviews, where like the longer you wait for something, the bigger the payoff you're expecting.
Right. And I think now, with that being said, because again, at the end of the day, first and foremost, anyone that's watching this right now or watching it a little bit later on, review, at the end of the day, get the game if you want it. You know what I mean? If it's the game for you, it's the game for you. If it's not the game for you, it's not the game for you. Get the game if you want it. The reviews, they help as far as driving anybody. They're mainly there as far as what I would take from it. They're mainly there for anyone that's on the fence and they want to have either like that yes or no. It's a sign or it's not a sign. That's what it's really there for. Of course, people are trying to give their best honest opinions from most of the sources that's doing reviews. But again, like if Gravity's favorite color is blue and mine is green, and you know what I mean, you can't convince me that blue's better than green.
Yeah. How dare you?
Yeah.
How dare you say green is better than blue? I will.
I mean, so long as,
up or something.
So long as you both like orange, then we're okay,
but I say
as
that
long as it's accompanied with blue.
I say all that to
say
that the reviews are important to an extent, but don't let them drive your decision wholeheartedly. I am very excited for the game. I know that where the hype level was kind of created from, which again comes down to, honestly, journalists and reviewers watching this, I think it was last year behind closed doors, seeing how amazing this stuff is. And of course, CD Projekt Red is going to show you the best stuff behind doors content, so that way when journalists are writing about these articles, they're writing nothing but good things about it if they can prevent that, if they can help that. In the same grain, most of these same journalists that attended those events, the behind closed doors and everything like that, are the one that's either A, they're saying it's a 9 out of 10, 90 out of 100. I haven't seen any 10s out of 10s yet, that's the only part that's a little concerning for me, because of how long it's been taking and how big this hype train has been going, mainly that have birthed from this journalist that's writing these very reviews. But then you also see some reviews like GameSpot, which I know there's a few ill will thoughts about GameSpot. But there's been 7s out of 10s and stuff, and I know that one of the things that is going on right now is the bugs for the game, which we're actually going to talk about some of these reviews right now. So story number 1, Cyberpunk 2077 reviews. So rating, we're going to start off with GameSpot actually, which is the low going to the high. 7 out of 10. Kayleen Plague from GameSpot says, early on in Cyberpunk 2077, there's a series of side quests that has you tracking down rogue taxis run by faulty AI. You have to talk to one of the taxis down from one suicide as it contemplates driving off a bridge, while another needs to be brute forced into behaving. And a third is an obvious reference to a famous video game AI that manipulates you as you chase it down. It's one of the
I know what that is too.
Yeah, it's one of the best minor quest lines in the game, an intriguing and surprisingly human sub story that rewards you with lots of much needed cash. It also it's also an excuse to send you to every corner of Night City, a clever introduction to all the areas you haven't been to before. I spent a lot of my playtime following the side quest threads like this one, excited about the premise and hoping to find something as interesting or fun or rewarding at the end of the run, and in many cases it did. But now, after finishing the main story, I can't see how most of those activities fit into the overall narrative or the character I was playing. The main story doesn't even gel with itself. Cyberpunk 2077 draws heavily from its source material, with everything from the world itself to the life and death of Johnny Silverhand coming from its pen and paper inspiration. But unlike in a tabletop RPG, you aren't playing the role of your own creation, Cyberpunk 2077. You're playing V, and it's V's story, not yours. I often felt like it was a role playing 2 different characters, one V for the side quests and one more limited to V for the main story. End quote. So hearing that, after again going inside of that, hearing that, what are your guys' thoughts about her analysis about Cyberpunk 2077? Because that one, it did touch a little bit based on the bugs. It did talk about the bugs a little bit. But it did talk about the gameplay and the side quests and stuff like that and how it felt. So what are your guys' thoughts about that?
Ain't that most games? Well, you play it like what was that? Zero Dawn Horizon, you played Aloy story.
Yeah,
you're playing as Aloy. Yeah, you're right. You are correct. Yeah.
When you play God of War, you played...
That's Kratos. Yeah.
Kratos.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's not really that big of a deal. And I like what you said earlier. I mean, these are designed to help you, not really like make your opinion, but help you to form one. With that, I mean, for me personally, it's not really going to make a break. I've already got the game. It's one of the games I was kind of looking forward to. I think okay would be fine for me. As long as it's not, because I was just going through my games library, as long as it's not Duke Nukem Forever. I just seen that game in my library.
Wait. What game was that?
Duke Nukem Forever.
I've never heard of that game. What is it? Is that a puzzle game?
Oh my god. Oh.
It was in
He's
development.
killing me, Nightball.
No, you get one of those a day.
You guys know I'm kidding, right?
You
better be.
Yeah.
I'm about to hang up this mic and come over and have a little chat with you there, Malachi.
No, I did that to Gravity off stream previously when we were talking about Dragon Ball GT. I was like, wait, what's that game? I mean, what's that show?
He said he never saw Dragon Ball GT, and I about lost it.
Okay,
not
that one I know to call
good.
bullshit on.
Yeah, not because it's good, but just because I'm like, how? Like at this point in your life, how have you not seen it?
It's because he read a GameSpot review and skipped over it.
Yeah, definitely interesting take there. And I do agree with you. And I have my comments on that, which I'm going to save for a minute. Mildew, what does this article do for you as far as from what Miss Kaylee Plague was inciting on?
Not really much. I mean, to be honest, from what she's saying about like, oh, you're playing V's story, not yours. I'm like, it kind of sounds like Mass Effect in a way. Mass Effect and Dragon Age. I mean, you're playing that character's story. Now, yes, you can make decisions, and also, I mean, she didn't delve into it. It's like you can't like make like I don't know if she's making it sound like you can't make decisions like, you know, can you be funny, can you be sarcastic, you know, get certain choices. I don't know, but it kind of feels like you're playing in a way kind of like a Mass Effect game, or in a way kind of maybe like a Dragon Age, where it's like you've got the story, you're playing the character, and you've only got a set narrative you can go on. It's not like you can just say, you know, forget the narrative and say, you know, I'm just gonna go over and do this stuff versus what you want me to do over here. You gotta still play the main storyline. Right. But they gave you the side quests. That's kind of what I'm feeling from it. But like I said, you know, she goes into her saying, but unlike in a tabletop RPG, you aren't playing a role of your own creation, Cyberpunk 2077. You're playing V, and this is V stories, not yours. Like I said, you know, kind of like Mass Effect. You're playing Shepard. You know, you choose your Shepard. But you've got choices in the game that are going to affect going on. So I guess that's kind of what maybe I want to, her to expand on is like, are you talking like, you only play like a Halo game where it's like, you know, you're Master Chief and you're running through and that's the only story you can play. You've only got X decisions. Or are we talking like a Mass Effect where it's like, yes, I can go to point A for the story plot and I've got 5 decisions to make, you know, which will affect how point B and C react later on, you know, or maybe I can skip B and go to C because of this. That's mainly what I'm kind of curious to see there, because I didn't expect them to have like this full free form floating thing, you know. I'm like, because even in Skyrim, like you've got only like, you know, 2 or 3 choices whenever you're playing, you know, through as the main character through the main storyline. It's like it's not completely free form. Like you can choose, say, no, I'm actually going to take you all out and become the master lord of this whole place. You know, you can't do that. So I definitely agree though with Nineball and you as well, Malachi, is definitely use these reviews not as gospel. Use them as a foundation to build your own opinions, guys. Like read through them, see what they say. You know, maybe write it down as bullet points saying, all right, here's what I've heard. You know, maybe cross-reference with the other ones and say, all right, you know, this seems to be the points here and there, you know, like, you know, cross points of gameplay, bugs, you know, mechanics, you know, et cetera, and then build your own, guys. Come on. You all have opinions. You all have loves and likes and dislikes. Go into the game expecting to play with your own eyes, not with someone else's, and just enjoy it. If you really want to play it and enjoy it, you will. Don't let someone else's words ruin it for you. Right. Let them be that stand that you stand upon, and then take the game in your own hands and go with it.
And before we go ahead and dive into Gravity's topic on this same review, definitely want to give a shout out to Gatorana1, Tori Ann, Fury Fuzzy, and Hilo for all winning a copy of Cyberpunk 2077 from ALWT Gaming. Let's give it a round of applause, guys. Yeah.
Congrats.
Golf clap.
Thank you again for your support. Yeah, you guys, I know that I'm getting 2 PS4 versions of the games, and then a Xbox version. I still have one yet, which is Furry. Still need to reach out to me, my dude or my dudette. Let me know which version of the game that you want, so that way we can go ahead and get that into your guys' hands as soon as we can.
Oh, can I say something real quick?
Yeah, by all means, it's your world, man. We're just living in it.
All right, real fast. This was I had seen something a long time ago, and in a way, that's actually when she said actually was an advantage. A long time ago, they spoke of, who remembers Red Dead Redemption?
Whoop, whoop.
Oh, the OG one?
I still got it.
Red Dead Redemption 1.
Oh.
A lot of people I knew never finished the game.
Mm-hmm.
because they never really had any. And they spoke about that because they said a lot of the big problem was there was not much of a story. They kind of just threw you in an open world. This is kind of like what happened to Rage. Probably like maybe 5 people remember Rage 1.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I looked at it and then walked away.
Rage was like that. They threw you in this open world, didn't give you no direction, and you kind of just get lost.
Yeah.
So having a bit of direction and story sometimes is a good thing, not a bad thing.
Right.
Just wanted to throw
And
it
by
out.
the way, in case any audio listeners listening, he said Raise Energy, where you can type in ALWT Gaming and get 15% off. Just go to redsports.com or appsports.com. Hey, you gotta plug it in. You gotta plug it in. You know what I mean?
You got
I mean, I'll give you props for at least trying to plug it in. I'm gonna give you a fail for plugging it in the wrong spot. So.
I think it was a beautiful place to put it in. You said Raise, right? Or was that Rage? All right, on over to you there, Gravity. What are your thoughts about that? Brett Sports,
man, advertisers are never going to want to work with us. Like, we're just going to like give a shout out for an advertiser. We're just going to be like, oh.
Next thing you know, they're going to pop up in the comments going, just stop, please.
Yeah, let us do the commercial.
I think they like it.
Like with reviews like this, like when you say like I guess like in terms of like which story you're following, like is it more so that like you're creating your own character and then you're playing as a different character, or is it like are you flip flopping like because
I better not White
because
Knight Chronicles me.
Yeah. Right?
Oh, they better not do
because
that.
it's just like, oh, here, spend all this time create this character, and then they're gonna be doing something over there where you're gonna get this preset character. You're
Well,
gonna follow
actually-
their story.
That was the game was returned day one.
That's a funny thing that you say that, because when I was listening to KFGD's review on that, because there's only been one of their members that actually played the game and reviewed it, and that's Blessing. And he said that the character that Keanu Reeves plays, he feels like the main character, and your character feels like another main character, but kind of to the side.
Yeah, like that, like, and like I think it, at least in my opinion, it all comes down to what your experience is going to be like as soon as you get a chance to play it.
Yeah.
Like it's just one of those things that like people are going to have their own opinions on the games. And it's a very like wishy-washy way of saying, like some people are going to say it's good, some people are going to say it's bad. Like it, like clearly that's going to happen with every game,
Right?
Like obviously, but if anything, I personally am kind of actually happy about the fact that it has mixed reviews, because like for me, that as Mildewy said, we want to use these reviews to formulate our own opinions. They're not something to be like, oh, that's a bad review, I'm definitely not going to get the game. It's something where like it's clearly connecting with certain people in one way, and it's clearly connecting with people, and not connecting with people in a different way. And at the very least, as a person who plays games, like that to me is it's kind of interesting to be like, okay, well, like what exactly is it about these games that they like or they dislike? Because it was, it kind of comes back to what we were talking about off camera. When it comes to any sort of medium, you have to, gauge your expectations based on what the genre is. Like for me, like a lot of people said Kakarot, like Dragon Ball Z Kakarot was great. I thought it was just okay. I thought it was disappointing, but ultimately I thought it was just okay. Like it's, like would I pay $60 for that game? No. Like I did, but I kind of regret that I did. Like it, for me, there were a lot of things missing from it that I wanted them to include. Like I had just come off of playing, like Red Dead 2 and all of these other open world games where you have these NPCs that really make the world feel like people are living in it. And like at least with Kakarot, like I didn't get that. And so for me, I'm kind of interested to see kind of like what elements are like people jiving with, what elements aren't they jiving with, and especially when it comes to bugs. Like I don't know about you, but like I kind of like bugs in certain circumstances. like when we play Conan Exiles, and it just gets laggy and buggy. Like sometimes like that kind of makes the game for me. Like sometimes like when you're playing and all of a sudden your guy just goes whoop, and then you're inside of a mountain and you just fall and you lose all your stuff. Like that's infuriating. It shouldn't have happened. But that's something that's something that's gonna stick with you.
Okay,
that's
Morrowind.
something. You know what?
Yeah, that was the scrolls right there. We loved our
I want to be an
Bug
optimist
stuff.
about it. Like sometimes bugs are really entertaining because you're just like, oh wait, because like sometimes they work out in your advantage, to your advantage. Like sometimes it's a bug that just gives you like huge props, and you're just like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna keep spamming this.
Is it,
is
it a bug or is it a bug or is it a cheat?
I'm thinking of that rock cheat people used to do on Call of Duty, where you used to be able to glitch into the rock.
Yeah.
Oh man,
Modern
yeah.
Warfare 2.
That's what happened. Actually, that's it.
And the sniper from heaven, dude.
Oh my god.
My
Looked up to the
goodness.
sky.
They find those
Really-
glitches.
Yeah, like sometimes it's the bugs that really give you that lasting impression. And it's sometimes it's not all bad. Like sometimes like in the moment you're just like, oh my god, this sucks. But like I mean look, like we're laughing about it now. So
Yeah, because it's like you're looking at the bug, and then it's like, like you're the next one doing it, and then next team go like, "I'm a god," and you're like, "Wait, was I just pissed about this like 20 minutes earlier?" You know, it's like
I like things where I like it when things happen that aren't supposed to happen, especially when it's in your favor. Like especially like for me, like back in the day when I used to play Pokemon Blue version on my Game Boy, like when I found out about the Cinnabar Island glitch as a kid, holy cow! Yeah, you best believe that I was getting level 150 everything, and I was only getting to a level 150 because I was breaking the caps.
Yeah.
But or at least catching Pokemon that could actually break the caps. I was really trying to break my game, but like sometimes for me, like I think that stuff is interesting.
I think, and I'm glad. It's interesting that you capitalize on as far as the bugs being kind of a positive thing, because I actually would agree if you're playing an older game. I don't want bugs in my next gen games. I want everything to run like butter. You know what I mean? If Final Fantasy VII Remake had a ton of bugs in it, I would still play it because I love the plot and the story. But I probably would never pick it up again. Let me just be that be that destroying for me, because we're in 2020. I'm not expecting bugs to be at that capacity anymore. Morrowind was known for its bugs. You know what I mean?
And I still beat it.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, Morrowind was known for its bugs. Assassin's Creed Brotherhood was known for its bugs.
Assassin's Creed Unity.
Unity, that's what I meant. That's what I meant. Unity, yeah.
God,
that was
those
known for its
memes
bugs.
with those bugs on there.
It was a walking joke. It was just.
I still got the game, and I think I've only passed like level 1.
Yeah, and I think and kind of going back to the review real quick, I personally think that there's two things that I think that the journalist was getting at. I think either A, she played Skyrim first and immediately went to this and was expecting the same result, or B, she played Dragon Age, because that's the closest thing I could think of. Because honestly, Dragon Age, the first one, is more in the element of an RPG. You create your person, it doesn't have to be human, it can be whatever, and you start off almost whatever, and you can go through the whole game and solo it to where it's just like you and maybe one other character that has to be with you, which is usually Morgan. Or you can have your whole posse with you. You can have your people against you and hate you. You can have your people love you. If you're a girl, you can go out with a girl. If you're a guy, you can go out with a guy. The whole nine, like you can have it whatever, pretty much in Dragon Age 1. In Dragon Age 2, you're Hawk. Whether you're a girl or a guy, you are known as Hawk. And it's not, and even though you have a lot of choice there, they still see you as Hawk, kind of like how in Mass Effect you're known as Shepard. And so it's more than along the lines of you. Yeah, you're playing more than along the lines or creating the story for Shepard versus creating your own. Okay, this is Malachi 36. I'm doing whatever I want. I'm a wood elf. Or in my next game, it's Malachi 36. I'm a dwarf. I'm a king down in the. You know what I mean? Like Dragon Age 1 to me was more of a true RPG, as Dragon Age 2, still strictly in the RPG elements, but it's not a true RPG as it would be in like Skyrim and stuff like that. You know what I mean?
I'm thinking of one for me. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm
go
thinking
ahead,
of
Noah.
one would be like the one I'm thinking of is basically
Jade Empire.
no. Deus Ex Invisible Warfare is what I'm thinking she's describing it as, where you play as Alex Didden. Well, Alex Didden can be either a guy or a girl.
Well, same thing for Hawk.
Yeah.
And Shepard.
Yeah, you can have it. Yeah, it would be kind of like that. And you, while you had the same missions, you had like unique builds and stuff. You can do like augments, because this is basically almost like Cyberpunk in a lot of ways, where you can augment your body with like superhuman strength and stuff. And you also had like the old MARB with black market mods where you can, cybernetically enhance your character in like ridiculous way. They had the best mods, by the way, like Neurohack and stuff. But I'm thinking it may be like that. But for what I've heard though from some of the critics, the RPG system is actually fantastic. From what I heard.
Are you talking about for Cyberpunk 2077?
Yeah, from what I'm hearing, the main problems for me were the bugs, and because I've heard that from several reviewers, is bugs. Even though they released part of the patch, there's still bugs in there. And I would say, from what I heard too, from some of it, is the story is not exactly the main story, but I heard the side quests are good.
Yeah. And actually, going inside the positive side, so we listen to the Yang, and we're going to go ahead and read the Ying. This is rating number 2, 91 out of 100 from Metacritic. Tom Marks from IGN. In my experiences, great open world RPGs like The Witcher 3 or Skyrim aren't defined by strength of their main story, but that the side missions around it. With Cyberpunk 2077's developers CD Projekt Red has taken that philosophy and built an entire game out of it. Apart from a surprisingly short but still utterly compelling central quest line that draws you throughout its diverse near future cityscape, the vast majority of what you can do in Night City is entirely optional, but often still extremely impactful on your journey. This more freeform structure isn't without its faults, including loads of distracting bugs. So there you go. But the strength of the missions themselves, optional or not, and the choice that you have within the theme make Cyberpunk 2077 one of the most exciting, emotional, and just plain fun RPGs. I played it in my recent years. You're thrust in the shoes of V, a mercenary in Night City who, avoiding spoilers as much as I can, ends up with the psyche of a long-dead rock star and anti-corporate terrorist Johnny Silverhand trapped in their heads. Johnny, played by the instantly recognizable Keanu Reeves, is a wonderfully dislikable jackass. Even if, to be blunt, Reeves' stiff performances is easily the weakest of an otherwise extremely impressive cast. Even still, Johnny's confrontational relationship with V and the eventual growth between them is the anchor of this story as they fight to find the solutions to the shared mess they find themselves in. End quote. So there's that from again Tom Marks from IGN. After hearing that, is there any? Are you guys still standing with the reviews that's being had? What are your thoughts? We're gonna start with you, Nineball.
Yeah, what he said really got my brain going. There's another game which is very popular that he kind of hinted around. Yakuza. Yakuza really wasn't known for the main quest. The reason why Yakuza's got such rave reviews is for the side quests. Having so much to do. Another one would be the original Dead Rising. Like, nobody remembers the storyline. I think it was something about what was it, infected cows or something? Caused the zombie. Nobody remembers the storyline of Dead Rising. It was so ridiculous. It was the side quest that made it. And like you said, like we keep pointing out, people to take the stuff with a grain of salt. I'm betting most of y'all have probably already bought the game anyway. So it's not that big of a thing. I would say for this one, if you're on the fence, you can still wait to buy it. I would definitely wait if you're on the fence because, to be honest, you really want to wait for the day one patch. And some games, if I'm on the fence now about it, you wait till it fully launches and actually. I'm glad I did because when I got my PS4, I was going to buy the Order 1886. Woo, I'm glad I did not. I had a friend that bought that, and I seen that like 2 days later. I was like, "What happened?"
I was actually very excited for that game. I was very excited for that game until I saw that it was only single player. I was like, "What the hell?"
Yeah, you got a full squad and you're only doing single player.
Exactly.
That was strike number one. But then the rest of the stuff came afterwards. I'm like, I'm kind of glad I missed that.
I wouldn't mind having it as a PlayStation Plus game tried out that way, or even on a cheaper version, like maybe even $10-15. But my biggest driver for that was like, oh, this is a game I can play with my boys, single player. What?
The boys be digital.
Yeah,
I bought mine for $5.
There you go.
Hey, I got Anthem for the same price.
There you go. There you go.
But yeah, if you're on the fence, don't get it. Just wait for the reviews because they're gonna come out as soon as the game comes out. Just wait till then. The game's not going anywhere.
Oh yeah.
You can't. Go ahead.
Mildewy Carrot for you. Anything that Tommy Mark on the spot says for you from IGN that sways your biscuit.
Sways your biscuit.
Sways my biscuit. Boy, what you know about my biscuits?
I mean, is your comments still the same? Is there anything that pointed out to you that he said inside his review from IGN?
Not really. I mean, to be honest, like, we're going to be expecting bugs, guys. I mean, come on. When we were watching for all the news for when the game was coming out, just when they gold CD'd it, and we heard the extra news on the back end, we're still trying to do some crunch time and all. They kind of should have told you guys we're going to see bugs, and they're going to try and fix it, but it's not going to be on launch. It may be a base fix pre-launch, but then afterwards you're going to probably have some more still that they're going to have to fix in a secondary launch. It's a never-ending cycle. I mean, kind of to contradict you there, Malachi. Yes, we're in 2020. Yes, we should have better coding and better stuff like that, and we do. But with coding, no matter what you do, there will always be something that can break. No matter how small it is, to how complicated it could be, to even the simplest things as you misspelled one word. Really, John? I'm tired. I don't care. So there's a lot that could happen there. So I will always expect errors in the system, and if not something that was done on launch, something that was an update that then it's like, I don't like that. I'm not going to work now. There's stuff that can happen. So I'm always expecting bugs. Now, as for the elements of the story and all, I'm okay with having a bit of from what it sounds like, it's like a little bit shorter main story plot line, because I've always also liked the expansion of side quests. I feel side quests can definitely give you more meat to the story versus a straight line, just straight to the main course and you're done. So I like the fact that you can go into the game and, from the sounds of it, choose your side quests, choose where you want to go in the city. How do you want to build yourself up there? There's more ways to do it than just straight lining the story. And you kind of have that with, Dragon Age 2, where with Hawk, you could just straight line the story, but it's going to hurt you in the end, Or you could do side quests, get to know your companions, do extra stuff for the people around the city, build yourself up, You're going to get more perks that way. Same thing with Mass Effect, as Shepard, you could just beeline straight for Saren, in Mass Effect 1 and be like, all right, I'm hunting him down, and that's it. But you're going to lose your crew. You're going to lose a lot of people. People are going to hate you. Or you could help them out, talk to them, do their stuff and all, get to know them a lot more, get more meat to the story of the universe that you're in, and then go into that final boss going, I'm a freaking badass, with your whole crew behind you. So that's kind of what I'm kind of feeling like walking into this game, is that, there's going to be a lot to do in it, not just the main storyline. If that's what this game was about, the main storyline, I probably would have held on. I'm expecting something where I can go out and explore the world and really just kick some shit and be crazy, I'm kind of also hoping for just a little bit of some Saints Row, shenanigans in there, some little fun stuff, a little stupid shit. Like, why are you beating him with a chicken? Why not? Bam.
No, I mean, to be fair, to be fair, well, there's two things I wanted to capitalize on your statements there. One, they still do one of the critiques that Blessing had mentioned is that it's almost, and this is a word that they don't really like using a lot of, but the way that the game's kind of designed as far as the atmosphere, it's almost like a try-hard to where they really dive inside the punk side of it, like we're edgy type scenario. To the point to where there's dildos everywhere, even on why
not?
Even on corporal. But here's the thing.
You know what? If you're gonna put in one, if you're gonna have this intern go out of their way to program a dildo into this game, why aren't you gonna have their supervisor leaning over their shoulder,
Yeah.
I want you to copy and paste that
everywhere.
How many times? Just
I'll wait.
But even so, like he was even saying,
Jessica sides and all, we're gonna make it different, but that's a very nice dildo.
Well, he even said in general,
ray tracing, gorgeous.
He even said a ray tracing dildo. He even said beforehand that he killed a guard. Get this, he killed a security guard. All right, was searching his body for loot and stuff like that, and on a security guard was a dildo. So it's just like what? Like, come on now. So that's what he was just saying is that like there's some parts I was just like, for other people they might like it, especially if they like the quirky side, but he thinks that for the most average gamers that's playing this game, it might feel like they're trying a little too hard or they're trying to be too edgy or stuff like that. So
I mean, was it really meant for the average gamer thow?
No.
Yeah.
Were they really trying to go for the average gamer with this?
I think for this one they're going for everyone but kids.
Yeah,
I think that's what they're going.
CD Projekt Red has never been a kid game, nor have they ever strayed away from, let's say, sex scenes in their games. Have you seen the Witcher franchise?
Yeah, I mean, but let's also be honest here, guys. How many kids are going to be playing this on day launch? How many parents have bought for them? I mean, come on.
I mean, it is 2020. It is 2020. We have these.
There's going to be a bunch of parents out there probably got for the kid because either A, they don't know, or B, they just don't care.
Yeah, exactly.
But I find that funny though that they pulled, and then to be honest, it kind of feels like they might pull some Saints Row stuff. Some, they've taken like aspects from other games that they've watched.
That dildo baseball bat.
Yes, you're walking around slapping me with a giant.
That's probably gonna happen. Yeah. That's probably gonna happen. It's gonna be a dildo massager, back massager.
I mean, to be honest,
wait, see.
Yeah, I mean,
some people they just blow things out of proportion.
Get some Yakuza like a dragon combos in there.
Yep. I mean, there's some stuff in there that it wouldn't surprise me if they took things from all other, like, because I think they've been watching stuff, and I think in terms of watching stuff, I mean, they've watched other games and seen what's been popular, what people have liked really a lot, like at different elements on it. It seems like they're kind of mixing it together, and this is what they created with that mixture and all. So I'm definitely excited to see what they're going to do with it. And like I said, it sounds like it's going to be a lot of exploring, and I love, me personally, excuse me, guys, I love side quests. Because like I said, I feel like you get so much more of the lore from the world and with the story and all, and just the characters that you're interacting with from those side quests versus just main story run-throughs or reading through a data log, and then that's it, So I am A-okay with what they're doing from the sounds of it. So, you'll have my honest opinion when I actually play the game.
Same here.
In the same vein of Cyberpunk 2077, Cyberpunk 2077 multiplayer. So, we're going to talk about this real fast, and the first person I want to tackle this one with is going to be you, Gravity Mark. Eddie Makak from GameSpot says, CD Projekt Red's much-anticipated RPG Cyberpunk 2077 finally releases this week on December 10th. You can read our Cyberpunk 2077 review now to see what you can expect. But launch is just the beginning. In addition to the expansions to the single-player campaign, which will be revealed later on, CD Projekt Red has another team working on a standalone multiplayer set in Cyberpunk 2077 universe. But when is it releasing? CDPR has not locked in on a date yet, but it probably won't be soon. In terms of the release date for projects for Cyberpunk 2077's multiplayer, CDPR says you should expect it to release soon, in 2022 at the soonest. CDPR executive Adam Kishnick recently spoke about the game during its earnings briefings. He said it's not right for to call it a mode for Cyberpunk 2077. Instead it should be thought of as a standalone project. So first, we don't call it modes, okay? And second, it's a separate dedicated project. Yeah, a big production. We think about it as a standalone product. The Cyberpunk 2077 multiplayer game is connected to the single player game, but CD Projekt Red sees it as an independent production with a team working on it that separates it from the team building the single player game. Gravity Mark freaking Dos. What are your thoughts about that statement there? What are your thoughts about that review, that article?
So what I'm hearing, what I'm hearing is that they're trying to do Ghost of Tsushima Legends. That's kind of what I'm hearing.
That's what I heard too.
That's the vibe that I'm getting. Because I honestly, when Legends was announced, I didn't even own the game at that point. But that was really, for me, the pivotal moment where that convinced me to actually want to get the game and to actually play it. But I'm not against multiplayers that don't really have anything to do with the main story. Especially if it's going to be its own thing, I'm totally fine with that. Because Legends is kind of just an exaggerated retelling of the main story anyway. Mm-hmm. But you really have to pay attention to what they're saying to really actually get that idea.
Right.
But if you're gonna have your own side story, to me that's just more content. If I enjoyed the main story and I enjoyed the side quests that were in that game and I enjoyed what I had there, I don't necessarily want a multiplayer that's just gonna rehash all of the same things that I already know. Why not use that time to give me new content, give me a new story, give me new mechanics, give me something that I might enjoy, as long as you don't goof it up. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? As long as, because if you have a really great campaign game and then you try to throw multiplayer in there and it's just, it's just a big old dog turd, at that point it's gonna, kind of deter me from actually wanting to try it. But honestly, with this game in general, I think you have to really at least to me, when it comes to stories, games with a plot to it, especially with RPGs. Yeah, to me, they're different buckets. There's kind of the Horizon Zero Dawn and God of War, where you are playing as that character, and then but you are essentially playing as that character, but you're playing their story. And then there are games like GTA and Red Dead where you are playing your story as this character. So there are games that where the story will kind of tell you where to go, and then there are other games that kind of suggest where you go. And then it's those side quests that kind of fill out the rest. So if they're going to deliver a multiplayer that is going to be different, I just want to see more content. I want them to kind of expand the world a little bit.
Yeah, my thing. Well, so I am in the same vein with you. I think when I heard this, when I saw this, when I read this, I did hear that they were rumoring a multiplayer. I think at the beginning of this year, actually, for Cyberpunk 2077, which I thought was going to be awesome. Then you haven't heard anything about it for a while. Now it pops up again. I think after. And I'm not saying this is the core reason why, but I think that this is a contributing factor to it. When Ghost of Tsushima came out, I picked the game up because I thought the game looked great. And when I played through it, did not stand corrected. I was proving my point. It's a fantastic game. It's a beautiful game. They blindsided everybody in a good way with Legends, which is something that I was not expecting to happen. And with that being said, you have Legends where you have these couple characters that you can customize and all that good stuff and give them gear and pretty much make it like a looter type game. a dungeon crawler, if you will, that has supernatural abilities and aspects to it. And then you have the main base game, which is strictly like the story of Jin, which is cool. So there's like 2 games that you have in one, which I always thought was kind of awesome. But something you kind of touched base on this a little bit. I'm kind of curious if they're going to go that route to where you have V, which is your main character for the main plot of Cyberpunk 2077. And then after you beat the base game, you can go ahead and do all these side missions and stuff. And then when multiplayer comes out, what's that going to look like? Is that going to be more in the vein of of Ghost of Tsushima, or is that going to combat GTA 6 whenever that comes out? Now, we'll have to kind of see on that one because you have CD Projekt Red and Rockstar, and you know what I mean. I'm just kind of like, I wonder if that's kind of what they're going for, or is the multiplayer going to be something that I can only party up with 3 other friends with, making it 4 players, and we can kind of free roam across the city, Borderlands style, or is it going to be an MMORPG setting because it's Night City, because it's a vast open world? We can do whatever, we can rob whatever, we can have sex with whatever, we can fight whoever, you know what I mean? We can do missions with whatever. Is it going to be that open of a world to where for the online multiplayer scenario of it? So I'm just kind of curious about that, because if that's the case, then GTA 6, where you at, man?
I was about to say, it sounds like you're trying to do GTA XXX, you know?
No, I'm just saying in general, like, I mean, because GTA 5,
whatever. Like, Malachi, what are you? Oh, Malachi.
Because GTA 5 itself was first came out on. Correct me if I'm wrong on this, but first came out on PS3, carried over to the PS4. Now it's on the PS5. You know what I mean? So it's just like they're milking the mess out of that cow for years now. I don't think.
Oh, you think that's bad? Look at Skyrim.
Well, no, I think that seriously. I kid you not. I think GTA is actually worse than Skyrim. Like it's I really think it is. We'll have to take a look at that. I don't know if you guys can look at the release dates of each one, but I have a feeling that because even with that being said, so take both of them out there. Say they're both equal. What has Rockstar done recently? Bethesda's still at least been doing something. What has Rockstar been doing? They did virtually nothing ever since. Like, they came out with Red Dead 2. What? How many years ago? You know what I mean? Really think about it. That is the last big game.
2018,
October 26, 2018.
Yeah, Bethesda had Fallout 76.
Yeah, but even so, at least like thinking about that, you had
they made updates for it.
You had Red Dead Redemption 2. That was the last big game that they put out. Before that, GTA 5. There's no other game that they've been working on. They just been milking the crap out of GTA 5.
And you had GTA 5 online gun running.
It's still GTA 5. They're plugging it all inside GTA.
Their DLC updates, they've made it so much better and made you really want to play the game.
Yeah, I just
when you have that much freedom and that much content though, as a developer, are you gonna keep obviously the goal is to keep innovating and to keep stepping your game up and making the next best thing. But if you're making if you made something back during PlayStation 3, Xbox 360, and even during these new consoles, people still there's still a very active community for it. That's a lot of revenue coming in. That's a lot of eyes still that are on you. Mm-hmm. So would you want to just say, oh no, we're done with that? That's in the past, or would you want to encourage people to kind of stick around, maybe throw in a few patches here and there just to kind of keep people coming around, so that way when you release your next game, then you still have all of those people who will carry over and then some, instead of having to encourage people to kind of come back to the game.
I agree with that to a point, because again, I agree with it to the point to where if you're producing good content, keep it going, but everything has a time and place. GTA 5 has well past that expiration time period. You came out on the PS3, and now you are on the PS5. Yeah, GTA 5 came out on the PS3, not PS4, PS3.
And I remember it was on the 360 too, because I remember like I think it was like maybe a few like days like after the game came out, I remember seeing an image going around from like someone from like Korea who
Yeah,
beat
it came out in 2013.
Yeah, 7 years ago. Wait, I think it even came out even before that. To be honest with you,
I
No,
was
2013.
it had to be.
that came out.
Let me see. GTA 5 release.
You know what they need to do?
This Skyrim was 10 years ago.
Yeah, Skyrim.
Yeah.
But you know what Rockstar needs to do?
What's up?
Earthworm Jim 2. That's how you do it, people. That's how you get them all back.
But even so, again, like GTA has been out again since the PS3, came over to the PS4, came out. Now it's still going on the PS5. It's well past its cycle. It's well past it. I think that at this point, like the best thing that it can, and it'd be different if people weren't asking already. That those same fan base that you have that's playing GTA 5, I feel like they're playing it now because there's no other GTA right now. They have been asking for GTA 6 for quite some time now. So,
Yeah, they just announced GTA 6, so we'll see when they decide to launch it.
I don't know if like Rockstar like has been putting it off and they're like, fine, we'll work on it.
yeah, well, I think they have been working on it, but it's just like they've done so much in this particular community for GTA 5 that it's just like it's kind of setting the bar for GTA 6. So it's just like stop. No, I don't want to say stop giving them good content because that's what they want to do. But you already have a good backlog of heists, of missions, of multiplayer PvP. You already have a good backlog of that. You don't need to add any more to that. Save what you were going to put for that for GTA 6 now. You know what I mean? Give that something. Give that new life. Because I guarantee you that's going to sell out. Bam. That might even sell out faster than any other game in history, for honestly. It'll sell out faster than Final Fantasies. It'll sell out faster than Cyberpunk, Kingdom Hearts. Like, I think it will outsell all those once GTA 6 comes out. And I'm not even a GTA person. I just think that that's what's going to happen.
Talk about overhype.
No, that's a prediction. That's a prediction.
I'm gonna actually say this.
You get your divination card.
As to that, I'd much rather have a good game than just a sequel of a game.
Well, it would be a good game. It would just literally be an entirely different story.
I would hate to see GTA 6 / actually being GTA 5.
I don't think that's what
GTA
I don't think that that's what I don't think that's what's going to happen. I think that
I know that's what I'm hoping that it don't happen.
Yeah, well, and again, GTA was known before 5 was out, and even a little bit before 4. GTA was known because of its story and the way that you could just like literally pick up a prostitute or sell drugs or shoot innocent people and get 5-star cops on you and try to escape them. That's what GTA is known for. So,
Tried to escape them. We faced them down.
well, I'm just saying, like GTA
You
was
stand your ground, boy.
Yeah.
GTA.
In the middle of an intersection.
Yeah, but
Just
GTA.
like
And real quick, I'm actually kind of curious. This is a quick side note, just something to think about. Why is it called GTA when most people do arson in the game? Like they mainly do more assault than anything. But
Okay,
it's
you're
called
thinking
GTA.
it. Don't.
I'm just saying. Like,
I don't know.
I mean,
I steal cars a lot.
Ooh, it's a pretty car.
Yeah, I steal cars a lot inside GTA, but in the same vein, majority of the videos that you see are people walking through with rocket launchers, modding the crap out of their games on their PC versions, flying around like Superman, just doing laser beams and blowing literally everything up. So it's just like, why is it called GTA when this is happening?
Because it's too much to get reconverted back from GTA, from Grand Theft Auto to Grand Theft Assault, you know? So they're just like, you know what? EA still works, so we'll let it be, synonymous to all the A's. Assault, arson, appropriation of hookers and whores, whatever you want to use EA for. Put it in there.
They're encouraging them to do arson.
And it's better just to keep it that name because, to be honest, changing on the fact that Malachi, this guy named Malachi wants to change to Assault.
No. I'm saying
the whole franchise over again.
I'm talking about from the very. I'm not talking about changing it now. I'm talking about when it first launched. Why was it called?
Did you see the first GTA?
Yeah, it was on Dreamcast. I saw it off of that.
There was nothing you could do except for still that top down view.
Yeah. Oh my god. I mean, that's the most used video on that one, what I remember.
Guys,
I never played that one. I had a cousin who played, and that's all he would do. I'm like, bro, really? He goes, dude, look. I'm like, yeah, I am, but I'm bored now.
Guys, I wanted to definitely bring this up too as well because again, on the same day,
multiplayer.
So, well, yeah, I was about to say. So, on the same vein of the multiplayer or the same vein that Cyberpunk 2077 is going to happen this Thursday, is the same day that VGAs. My brain's on Cyberpunk now. That the VGAs is going to happen.
No better place to be.
Gentlemen. I want you guys to think about this. I'm going to ask you guys a question. I want to have your guys' thoughts about the multiplayer for Cyberpunk 2077 and your prediction on that. But first, I need to ask you guys, what news, what big hype moments, what big reveals are you guys anticipating that's going to be at the VGAs? We already know about there's going to be some sort of...
Don't spoil it.
Well, no, I'm going to say what other news, because we already know about Dragon Age Dreadwolf. We already know about that.
You know what? You're just trying to ruin my day.
Well, we know about Dragon Age news, I should say. They didn't confirm Dreadwolf, but they did say Dragon Age news, which we can only hope that that's Dreadwolf. So we already know about that. We already know about Fortnite with its Kratos and Master Chief coming out. That looked like that's supposed to be a thing.
I'm just
game of the year.
We already know. There was another one where it was leaked. It wasn't even leaked. That's the thing. It was accidentally posted early, and I think it was what was it? It wasn't Forza. It was something like that. But anyway, so think about that. But before we go ahead and jump inside the VGA news, what are your guys' thoughts about the Cyberpunk 2077 multiplayer for the bottom two, aka it's the 9-ball quarter pocket and Mildew Curry the Harvest Kid?
All right, I guess I'll go first. So, I've been hearing about multiplayer for about as long as I've heard about Cyberpunk. This was like one of the first news things that people did go in on. They said, is it going to have a multiplayer? CD Projekt Red said, it might if it makes sense. So it's been around for a extremely long time. I'm kind of worried. I really want it. Like Cyberpunk 2077 to me will probably be more for the single player than the multiplayer. I mean, if the multiplayer is great, I will play it. But it's one of those situations to where you have somebody that's kind of out of their element, and it might end up with, let's say, a Anthem or worse, a 76, where Bethesda should have just stayed with a single player section. So I'm a bit leery on that, but as long as it doesn't really hinder the single player, I think it'll be fine. I'm hoping it tacks on and makes it better though.
And that's what I kind of agree with that too as well to a point. I think that especially with them having the announcement saying that they have two different teams. They have a core team that's on the main story, and they have a whole other team that's going to be about the multiplayer. I don't think it's going to affect the single player at all. I know some people are just like, no, don't put multiplayer in it. What's it hurting? They have single player. Play that. You'll be fine. You know what I mean? It's not going to affect anything, mainly because they do have two different different teams on this project. So it's not like you have to sacrifice time for the focus more on the single or multiplayer, since that's a feature that they offer over single player, which can hinder the story. I don't think that's going to be an issue for Cyberpunk. So, Mildewy, your thoughts?
I'm just kind of curious to see what they're going to do with it. I mean, they've announced that they're going to think of it as a standalone, so it's going to be kind of like its own additional content game. So it automatically makes me think, kind of like you and Gravity said, it makes me think of Ghost of Tsushima. where it's kind of the same universe, but it's a different story. What I'm hoping they don't do is kind of like what they did with Inquisition and Mass Effect Andromeda, where it's like they have a multiplayer, but all it is just like Apex missions or squad missions where you choose a character, squad up, and you do some, whatever missions, attacks, assaults, defenses, what have you. So, I mean, not that they're not fun, but I kind of like stuff that has a bit more story to it myself personally, unless I'm really playing with friends, but trying to get people on Andromeda right now is kind of hard, Not sure why. So I'm kind of interested to see more details, to see what they're going to do and what they're going to announce. So I really am kind of hoping, though, they do go the route of kind of like Ghost of Tsushima, where it is like a kind of an extra story point that you can play with friends, So, but we'll have to see what they do. Okay. Now, as for terms of 2022 for release date, I'll wait till 2025 for them to make the actual announcement.
Yeah, it's CD Projekt Red. By the way, everybody messed up here. It's production, okay? It's not mode, and it's not extra modes here. This guy went out of his way to correct everybody in the room.
There you go.
So we need to respect this guy on CD Projekt Red, okay? It is not a mode.
I just said multiplayer.
I could have sworn I said it was a standalone.
Yeah.
He says it's a standalone. Okay. That's what he said.
It'll be a standalone. Don't ever call it a mode. This guy's gonna come through the screen.
I just gotta say this. It's a standalone multiplayer mode. All right, moving on.
It's not a car, okay? It's an automobile.
Wait, when did we get back to GTA?
So, real quick, going on over to the VGA reward predictions. So we talked a little bit about this last week, so I'll just read just a small little snippet from Aaron Garst from GameSpot. It says the games industry's versions of the Emmys are almost here. The Game Awards will be broadcast from Hollywood, California on December 10th, with other segments happening in different locations. The annual show would take place entirely online due to the pandemic. So, with this same vein, outside of what you guys had heard for Dragon Age, outside what you heard for Fortnite, what are some surprises you guys think will appear here from any of the companies, from whether it be Xbox, whether it be Sony, whether it be Nintendo, Stadia, Amazon's Luna, whatever, gaming developers.
Luna leaving.
What big?
I'm gonna stop you right there. Anything from Stadia would be a surprise. Let's just get that out of the way. Anything from Stadia is going to be a surprise. Like, only on Stadia. Really?
Like, that's new.
He said, really?
Like how'd that happen? Like, how much did you have to pay to get that just on Stadia?
I mean, it is Google. It is Google. They got money. They got dough.
I mean, they do.
But your CEO's house is just made of money. He just got $100 bill stapled to the bricks.
Just $100.
So we're gonna start this one. We're gonna kick this one off over to you, Mildewy. What big surprises do you think we are going to see? What big predictions? What big games do you think we're going to see at in 2 days?
I mean, to be honest, the main thing I've been hyped for since they made the announcement was, of course, for Dreadwolf. From what I've been hearing whispers, we might see some new area content and all, so I'm definitely stoked for that. In terms of games, just from what I've been seeing around, we might hear something about the new Call of Duty. I think there was like a DLC content or something for the Cold War. And then I've been hearing whispers about Mario and Luigi. So we might hear something about that. So I know Microsoft said that they're going to talk about something, and then people are like, it's not going to be Halo Wars Infinite. I'm like, it better be. I haven't found anything on that, so I'm going to have to wait and see. So I don't know what they're going to do. I don't know. Maybe Microsoft's going to be doing something with Bethesda. Something that's new for them, like with their collaboration since they recently got. I am though wondering if we're ever going to hear more about a new BioShock, because I know that was whispered beforehand. So I'm kind of curious to see if we're maybe going to finally get something. So that's a game series I really love and enjoyed playing. I don't know. I haven't heard too many confirmations, but I love being surprised. So hit me with it, VGA. Hit me!
What about
on
you?
Okay.
Well, actually, I'm going to pass this on over to you there, Gravity. What are your thoughts? What do you think what big news do you think we're going to have this coming Thursday?
Honestly, it's really hard to tell. And part of me wants to actually keep it a surprise because it's like sometimes like when you start to speculate too much, like, you don't want to put your expectations like up here for something, and then they're like, like they didn't talk about this, or like they just talk about some like just something like obviously expected. Honestly, like I'm excited because for the fact that I don't really know too much of what to expect from this. It really could be anything. What I'm really hoping, again, like Stadia, God. But
Better than Luna.
So you're saying Luna is like Stadia was before it finally got a little bit better?
We'll see.
Don't go that far.
Like,
Tell me how you really feel, Nine Ball.
In terms of the games that they're going to talk about, I have no idea. I'm actually really stoked to see which games they actually, give these awards to. Because a lot of speculation in terms of like how they're actually going to go about, like, actually like giving out these awards. Because like I'm really curious because I have my own opinions on who should be getting certain awards. But if they end up giving it to another game that I didn't expect, I might that might make me curious to say, okay, well, what is it about this one game that caused it to deserve this award? Is that something that's being decided by a small body? Is that something that's kind of like the consensus of the masses? Because I feel like if we pay attention to maybe how they give these awards out, that could actually dictate down the line maybe how games are developed in general. Like what we can make more predictions of what types of games we could see in the future. If games are going to be getting these awards, developers are going to be like, oh, cool, let's more of that. Dildos and Cyberpunk, more of that.
I mean, it worked for Saints Row.
There you go. There you go. What about you there? It's the Nine Ball. What are your thoughts?
Oh, I got quite a few.
All right, hit us up with some predictions.
You already know one of them was the Silent Hill remake, which I keeps popping back up over and over again. And like somebody said, it's supposed to show up. I want to see if this rumor is true or not. And somebody, leakers, put it on the line here and said it's going to show up at the VGAs. I want to see this true. For me, it would be that one. I heard Metal Gear Solid. A couple games I want to see, but I'm not probably not expecting to see, will probably be Hellblade 2. Maybe to make another appearance. And Warhammer Dark Tides. Because I do like my Warhammer. And to see finally a 40K game that looks very decent. And it's going to have plague zombies. Okay, got Nurgle's Plague Zombies on there, and it looks nice, and it looks like you're gonna be armed with the standard flashlight, so you're just gonna get screwed over probably. I want to see how this game goes. I can't wait. I want to see quite a few. I want to see some surprise games too, because I'm a huge fan. Like I always say, I love small indie developers because I love the unique concepts they come up with. So every once in a while, I go through like Steam and them. Probably scour through the games to find the one that looks interesting. I ran into one a long time ago. It was a game called Ta'ash. I probably never really heard of it. But it's a game where you start out at level 100, but you level backwards. So the more fights you get into, the weaker your character becomes. You want to get to the end without getting too weak. But you have to get items and stuff too to level up. It was a very small indie game. I mean, the graphics weren't like spectacular. It looked like it was an RPG maker game, but I thought the concept was brilliant on there. But I want to see certain games that are like unique like that or something too.
Yeah, and to be honest with you though, I mean, and you probably already know this, but typically a game on that caliber probably won't be shown here at the VGAs. If anything, that'll probably be more of like a Steam ad, or maybe show up on like Game Pass and people are trying to check it out and stuff like that. I can see that happening. One game that I am hoping they show more of is Elden Ring.
Bugsnax 2?
Nope. No, I want to see some. I want to see if they're actually going to push through Elden Ring. I wonder if that they show that. I wonder if they're finally actually. It might be too late. Actually, it is too late, but they're still talking about it. I'm wondering if they are going to talk about Anthem next, and just trying to revamp, because that's what it's called, Anthem Next, and it's supposed to be the next bet, like Anthem 2.0 and free upgrade for all Anthem users. They're still holding on to that, so I'm kind of curious about that. I wonder if we're going to see some Harry Potter gameplay.
Oh yeah,
I think that'd be kind of an interesting one. I want them to announce Bloody Roar officially. I would absolutely lose my mind if that legit comes through with Konami.
You're gonna fly out that window, aren't you?
I will fly straight out the window. I will.
Just gonna launch himself through 3 apartment floors, break through the roof, screaming "Hallelujah!"
I can't blame. I might just jump out too.
I think they might announce a new Super Smash Bros. I don't know why.
Really?
Something tells me they're going to announce a new Super Smash Bros. Literally, I have no idea why, because it wasn't too long ago when they brought in Steve from friggin' what's it called? Minecraft. Yeah, they brought in Steve, and then there was another person that they brought in.
They could make.
Oh, they've been bringing in a lot of new characters.
Yeah,
I know you're talking about. But he's from another game though.
Yeah, it's from a different game. And I think they even brought in someone from ARMS too. I could be wrong about that one. But something tells me they're going to announce a new Super Smash Bros. In the same vein. I think we might get more insight as far as the next Switch, the next Nintendo Switch. We might get some more information about that, because last year Xbox had announced Xbox Series X officially at the Game Awards, and that's also when you saw Hellblade 2 too. Like a little clip of that was at the Game Awards.
That was actually a pretty dope clip.
Yeah, so we'll see about that. I wouldn't hate it if they announced some, showed some more footage, or actually showed footage of God of War 2 Ragnarok. I wouldn't hate that. And lastly, as a personal preference, I don't think it's going to happen here, but I wouldn't mind if they went ahead and threw some Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 2 in there.
How about some 16?
No, not yet. I don't think this is going to be the conference for that. I would.
It was Terry was one of the new ones.
Yeah. I would love 16 here. I would absolutely adore 16 here. I don't think it's going to happen here. I think it's going to happen on its own time next year.
Now I'm thinking about it, I also hope we see, because I want Nintendo to kind of stepping up again, because they've kind of seemed to have been kind of like, playing off the games they currently have and not changing too much. I actually kind of want to see maybe Breath of the Wilds 2 and Metroid Prime. I want to see Metroid 4. Like they teased us with that, and I'm like, I need something for it. Like, give me just a teaser trailer. I will be so happy with. Like
in 2077, that's when it's coming out.
But no, I really hope Nintendo steps up. So maybe like Mario and Luigi, maybe like Metroid. I don't think it's Super Smash right now. If anything, they may throw an extra content pack out for it, but I still think that you got a bit of time to wait for another one. But I definitely think we might, because I can't remember if Breath of the Wild 2 has already been fully announced yet, or if it was just a teaser that was announced.
Yeah, I think it was just a teaser.
And then like I said, Metroid. So I'm really hoping that we see more of that stuff, because Metroid was one of my big games. I still got the one for GameCube. Fantastic games. If they announce Metroid in a release date at VGA, I'm dropping for a Switch right now, guys.
I don't blame you. There's actually I have a few questions for the group, but I also have something that I forgot to mention. There is a Persona 5 Versus that's coming out. So it's set up like Hyrule's Warriors, but Persona 5 characters. That was leaked. Literally, like, I think even either hours or a few days ago.
Persona's already had a fighting game. They have Persona Arena.
No. This is like Hyrule Warriors. So, like, it's a Musou.
Oh.
Yeah, like Dynasty Warriors.
Really?
Yeah, but it's Persona characters, yeah.
I haven't heard about that, but to be honest, I don't follow Persona 5
it was it was a leak. It was a leak that happened out. Wario64 actually put it on his page on Twitter, and then it was quickly brought down. Wario 64 is that person that gets in there and gets all the stuff. I don't know how he does it, but he gets all the stuff. And then,
it's like the 007.
Pretty much.
Mission Impossible to be hanging off the roof.
and then I have 4 games that I want to ask the group, do you guys think we would see either here or in the very near future? And then we'll go ahead and wrap up the show. 4 games. 1, another Pokemon Stadium. Pokemon Snap 2. Do you guys think that we're going to see a Mario Party, another Mario Party? Or do you think that we're going to go ahead and see a Beyblades game?
So you said one of those or all of them?
Sorry,
I missed that.
Any of them.
Well, if any of them would be a stadium.
I was going to say, out of all of those, I feel like it would be a stadium. Like, they just recently, I think it was like just this year, last year, that they came out with the updated Pokemon Snap. So, like, I doubt that they would come out with, like, a follow-up series to that. Like, I feel like they would wait to do that until after a new generation comes out, just so that way they can really, because honestly, that's just more marketing and advertising for those games. If you don't play the main series games, but you play Snap, you can, you have new Pokemon that you can take pictures of. But I feel like a stadium, we haven't had, like, the last stadium-esque thing we had was really not even a stadium. It was
that
just Pokemon Tournament.
Yeah,
it was it wasn't a bad game, but I did really enjoy the stadium games that were on the 64. I enjoyed what game was it on the Wii that you had? 'Cause there was like a Pokemon Stadium-esque type of game that was for the Wii that you could hook up your DS and your Gen 4 games to. That was really fun. Something like that I'd really like to see.
Pokemon Battle Revolution, I think is what it was.
That was fun.
I still prefer Pokemon Stadium, but I like the Pokemon. It's the one where you played as that Snatcher character, or the Snatcher was like
Coliseum.
Yeah, Pokemon Coliseum.
Mm-hmm.
If we saw anything, I definitely agree. It's either going to be a Pokemon Stadium game, or I'm hoping for probably another one of those Pokemon Coliseum games. Those are fun, very interactive with the world based and all, and you've got capabilities now to make it almost full world capability with some side quest missions. So I kind of I know I'm like shooting in the dark here with the high hope dreaming, but it'd be nice to kind of see something like that. But I don't think Beyblades is popular in the U.S. anymore as it is probably overseas. So if they did a Beyblade game, it would probably be just Japan release only. As for U.S. base, I definitely have to agree with everyone. I think it's going to be a stadium game because they've already got Super Mario Party on the Switch and all. They've already done the Pokemon Snap. So I don't think they're going to go with those right now. I think if anything, they're going to try and maybe, because of Sword and Shield coming out and all, they're probably going to try and get like a better Coliseum Stadium combo game, something or another going on. So we'll have to see though, because I haven't heard anything on the back end for that at all. I'm still waiting for my, open massive world Pokemon RPG, MMORPG style game that they still haven't with. Haters.
So in that same vein, and this is just me spitballing here because this probably won't happen, and it kind of already exists if you really think about it, but hear me out. And I think the people that can probably answer this best would be Gravity and it's the 9-ball. Final Fantasy 14 style Pokemon MMORPG.
I personally would rather see a Breath of the Wild style of Pokemon game. Like with this most recent one for the Switch, we got a chance to see what the wild area. So like they basically had the wild area, which was this big. It was pretty big. It was like an open world area where you could actually rotate the camera. You had Pokemon that were just popping up out of nowhere that were in the overworld instead of you having to run into the tall grass. Like you could still do that and encounter Pokemon the old fashioned way, but you did have Pokemon that popped up in the overworld that were actually, they weren't like exactly to scale, but they were like, they did scale up the big ones that were out there. Like if you're in, if you're in the wild area and you see a Steelix, it's going to be enormous.
And that's actually exactly what you hit the nail right on the head. That's what I'm talking about. You would see an Onyx that's straight up towers.
To me, I want a Pokemon game with a Breath of the Wild feel to it, like where it's completely open world. You can still try to like mess around with the routes, like you can still do, different areas or different routes, and you still have to kind of like walk through certain areas to get to other more open world areas. But that's kind of what I want to see from it, really. Because like if it's more so going to be, Final Fantasy 14, to me, there are some parts of 14 that are claustrophobic with people. Sometimes there's just way too many people in one specific spot.
Yeah.
I would much rather it be a game where you can either like you basically just invite people to your game, and it's kind of like an all shared game where you're all having an experience together, not State of Decay 2 where we're all kind of helping one person with their game. I prefer it
only Malachi gets the resources.
Yeah, like I prefer it maybe like a No Man's Sky kind of thing, where you go online, you have people kind of join whatever local or multiplayer lobby you're in, and then you all kind of have this shared experience. I don't necessarily, and I guess it just depends on the size of the map. It depends on how many players are in there. Right. If they limit, like if you go online and you have to open up a server and you have like a cap on how many people can be in the world, then I feel like that would be fine. But, I don't want there to be overcrowding, I guess, is my concern.
So in that same sense, because what I'm hearing is that you'd be fine with the MMORPG style like Final Fantasy, World of Warcraft, if it's not the full massive 99 plus players in a single lobby.
To an extent, because like I have played like some like back in the day, like where they did try to have like some multiplayer Pokemon games. I have tried those in the past, and they weren't bad. But like like for me, when I play Pokemon, I like it's my journey as this character. Mm-hmm. I would like to it's a very personal journey for me. Like that game helped teach me how to read when I was playing it before I could read on my Game Boy. But like, I what I don't want to see is just, like I said, just too many players in the lobby, because there is that personal aspect where it's you on this big journey, right? Mm-hmm. So like, if you see like, people running around here and there, I'm totally fine with that. I just don't want to see I don't want to like look in one frame and then see like 50 people all in that frame. Because God forbid it turns into like a virtual version of Pokemon Go where someone's like, oh man, like there's a Vaporeon over here, and then you just have massive player crowdings in this one area that cause the server to like lag or whatever.
Yeah.
All right. Well, yeah, guys, good talk, good discussion. We got, again, Cyberpunk Day is 2 days away. And same thing for VGAs. That's 2 days away. For anyone that's currently watching animes, today's over the weekend we believe is when Attack on Titan, the first episode of season 4 came out. So
episode 1, completely went back and rewatched all of seasons 1 through 3 for like the third time now. It's like a ritual every time a new season comes out.
Mm-hmm.
I believe this is the final season, isn't it?
Yep. Yeah, it's even labeled on Crunchyroll as the final season. So very interested to see how it's all going to wrap up because it's been one heck of a ride. So
it's the final countdown.
But yeah. Again, thank you guys again for tuning in. Be sure to check out our social media platforms, ALWT Gaming, pretty much everything. Unless you guys are checking on YouTube, can't find us out with ALWT Gaming, no worries. Just type in At Least We Tried Gaming. Email is atleastwetried.gaming@gmail.com. Patreon.com/ALWT Gaming. Twitch.tv/ALWT Gaming. Facebook, ALWT Gaming. Instagram, ALWT Gaming. Guys, where can they find you at? Starting off with It's the 9 Ball. Where can they find you? PSN, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, whatever you got.
A PSN account is simply it's the 9ball, all one word, 9 spelled out.
Corner
God, I got a Twitch account, but I really ain't posting nothing on there yet. It's the same. It's the 9ball. It's the 9ball. So
it's the
best way
9 ball
to go.
everything. Corner pocket, don't
Yep.
scratch. Don't scratch. Mildewy Carrot. Harvest season, man. Where can they find you?
Twitch, YouTube, Mildewy Carrot. Pretty much YouTube's. I finally figured out how to get that to work with my Twitch. So stop hating people. I'm old, Stop hating. Anyways, but yeah. So mainly on Twitch, did a lot of stuff on there. Now, what I can save up onto YouTube. So you can find me there or on Twitch, or my PSN is Mildewy Carrot. So, but yeah, pretty much where I'm at.
All right. And counting down in 3, 2, 1. Blast off into no man's gravity. Where can they find you at, good sir?
PSN, you guys can find me at Gravity-Mark 2. That's just MARK2. Xbox, if you wanted to play something with me on there, it's just Gravity MK2. So, hey, anybody on Xbox, I'm looking for more stuff to play. I already have some people who are telling me that I should be picking up the Master Chief Collection, so that's probably going to be something I pick up next after I go through all of Dragon Age and all of Mass Effect.
Good boy, good boy. He's learning, Malachi.
Give yourself a day, just cut out just a whole day and play Dragon Age. Holy cow.
Yeah.
I have been dumping, I've just been having all of my side people do all of the work for me, and then I'm just investing all of my points into influencing people, and I'm just having a blast. I just get to convince people to do whatever I want. It's wonderful. There are just no consequences. They're like, hey, I didn't like that you did that. I'm just going to influence you, and they're just going to be like, well, I guess. I feel like a Jedi. I feel like I'm just playing Jedi mind tricks on people. It's great. They're like, well, I guess you did have to kill that kid.
Yes, I did have to kill the kid.
Yep.
Right.
All for a ring.
That was
pop.
kind of messed up. You had to do it.
It was for the greater good.
There was no child here.
All right, well, guys, thank you very much again for tuning into ALWT Things Gaming, episode 26 with the ALWT Cast. We appreciate you guys. Love you guys. Until next time, catch us on the VGA Awards. Now, be on the lookout for our post on social media platforms because we're still kind of on the fence if we're going to be doing that live since it's 4 freaking hours long. Again, granted, 2 hours of it is the post-show or pre-show. The other 2 hours, at least, is anticipated to be the main show. So we'll have to see how that's going to pan out. So we're going to have to see if we're going to do that live on Thursday or if we're just going to chalk that up on Friday. So be on the lookout for that on our social media platforms. Until next time, everybody, Controlled, Alt,
Complete.